Now, BMW may have started the craze for luxury SUVs with the X5 decades ago, but here we are today in America with the GLS size X7. It's the first X7. We're in America where it's built to drive it. We're going to drive 700 kilometers today. We're in Tallahassee, Florida. We're going all the way to Baton Rouge in Louisiana. It's going to be an exciting trip. We're going to discover what this new X7 is all about, where it's more luxurious, where it's more spacious, where it's nicer to live in and drive. And there's no better place to do it. Let's see what the car's like. First up, however, let's take a closer look at just what we have here. Now, you may think the X5 is a big SUV, but wait until you come up close and personal with the X7. Now, it's called the X7 and it's a full size bigger than the X5, 1.8 meters tall. It's 5.1 meters long and this wheelbase is 3.1 meters. So a lot of space in the cabin there. And of course, this very distinctive, unique look, the big cowl in front with the biggest ever BMW kidney grille. Now that's unique and it gives it a very macho, tough stance. But you also have these slit-like headlights. They're laser lights for the best lighting you can get. So all in all, plenty of individuality and you won't mistake the X7 for anything else. But what do I make of that massive BMW kidney grille, the X7's biggest talking point? Is it too big? Sure it is. Does it spoil the look of the car? Well, I sort of thought it did when I saw it in pictures, but today, after seeing it in the flesh, well, I don't really mind it that much anymore. It will stand out though, that's for sure. What will also make this car famous is the cabin, because frankly, no car in this class even comes close. Lined literally from wall to wall in thick, high quality leather with high gloss wood, splashes of chrome and even crystal or cut glass inserts, it really does feel like BMW has gone the extra mile. So in the interior, in the driver's seat of BMW's X7, and immediately what hits you in the face is the sheer quality they've put into this cabin. It's right up there with the 7 Series. The fit, finish, the material quality is just outstanding. There are also some new features here which make it pretty interesting. There's this switch where you can move the second row seats forward or back, and if you need, you can move them in the front. So the driver can decide how much space the third row needs. If you want to let somebody out or adjust the space, it's very easy to do it from here. You get massage seats, of course, fantastic shiny wood paneling, this slightly dulled anodyne chrome look. There's individual fan settings for the driver and the passenger, not just temperature control, temperature and fan, so you don't need to be fighting with your better half if you want the fan blowing at you and she doesn't, or the other way around. Now the box here, you've got wireless charging, space for your phone in the cup holder if you want, heated and cooled cup holders, new addition to this, and plenty of storage space here, a lot of USBs all over the cabin. You really do feel pampered in the new X7. And you get the same seats on the second row. So in the second row, and here too, a lot of comfort. These leather seats are just exceptional, nice and big. There's plenty of space here and you can adjust them just like you can the front seats on this captain's chair version. Massive door, huge door so that you can get access to the third row. But what it also gives you is this big window, so a lot of comfort. You're seated at a nice height, you have a nice view out, you can look around. It's a very comfortable place to be. You also have a lot of kit here. Now, you see that? That's the Bowers & Wilkins 1500 watt system, and it's one of the best around. You've experienced it in other cars, and now that it's in BMW, I think it really adds another element to the comfort levels in this car. Of course, you can adjust the fan speed and the temperature here as well. You have your own CD drive if you need it, headphone jacks if you want some high quality audio, apart from the Bluetooth, USBs for fast charging, cup holders, and a lot of other kit and quality. For example, there are these door pads which are just massive. You can keep loads of stuff in there. all in all, an extremely comfortable back seat, and this soft pillow makes all the difference. The passengers on the second row can even push the third row back for maximum space. And the X7 even scores well for third row seat comfort. Place the X7 low on its air springs for easy entry, and getting into that third row isn't too bad. Now the third row is an extremely important part of this X7. It's a 3-row luxury SUV. So let's see just how comfortable it is for someone as big as me. Now I've folded this seat forward. So here we go, 1, 2, and yeah, you do need to bend. And the seat is a bit low, but comfort levels otherwise are pretty good. Now you have your vent here, which you can control via this blower and temperature control here. The seats are heated, not that we need that today. But the surprising part is a decent amount of headroom, and you're not squatting on the ground. It is pretty nice, the edge point, it isn't too low. You're not seated with your knees too far up, and good levels or decent levels of comfort in the back. Even visibility from the back is good, especially with the big side window panes, and there's even a moonroof to make it feel more airy. What's also unique is that this car gets a 5-zone AC. 2 at the front, 2 on the second row, and 1 here in the third row. You even get your own USB-C socket so you can charge larger stuff like laptops and cameras. It also has some usable luggage space, even when you're 6 up. Now the good thing on the X7 is that even with all 3 rows up, there's a fair amount of luggage space here. You also got this electric tailgate where you can sit and of course enjoy your barbecue through this 12-volt socket. And in case you need to put a lot of luggage in, there's shortcut keys to fold the seats electrically. This one says max space. Let's see. Now the X7, this one we're driving, has 22-inch wheels. Now they don't just look like manhole covers, they actually feel like them, huge. And of course that impacts the ride, so even at a bit of a low speed you get a bit of pitter-patter. There's a bit of movement, and all of this car has air suspension at all 4 corners and adjustable dampers, and it is in comfort. You still do feel a little bit of that road. But when you get to the bigger bumps, it's quite fabulous. It rides over them beautifully. The car is flat. It has a 3.1 meter long wheelbase, and that really gives it a lot of comfort. The length gives it a lot of comfort and stability. What gives the X7 an edge once you step up from low speed is that it uses liquid-filled rubber bushings that help it glide over most bumps. And then there are the active anti-roll bars that all but decouple when the car is being driven in a straight line, making the suspension even more pliant. What adds to comfort levels is that the X7 is isolated from the rest of the world. Now the X7 is what they call a super luxury SUV, and the word luxury means it has to be refined and quiet, and that's exactly what it is. It's a very hushed cabin, very quiet, and what helps is the acoustic glass. You have a windscreen that's acoustically damped. These are double glazed windows all around, and there's a lot of damping inside the chassis, in the shell of the car. So even when you ride over some coarse surfaces like this one, you don't get too much road noise. As we drive further west, the roads get more and more desolate, and I start using more right foot. Now this 40i gets BMW's straight 6, the 3-litre, with 340 horsepower. And when you put your foot down, it winds nicely all the way, almost till around 7,000 RPM. There's a sporty snarl, and it does take off pretty quick. Yes, 340 horsepower isn't all that much when you take the weight of the car into account. But keep your foot flat and the X7 can really sprint. This makes overtaking big 18-wheeler trucks on the single carriageway a breeze. And it feels quick too, even in isolation. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour takes a claimed 6.1 seconds. And while the X7 is both big and heavy, BMW has managed to hide a lot of that bulk. Now it may be bulky and huge, But the X7 also has an active anti-roll bar that keeps it pretty flat. And what also helps is this air suspension, one at each wheel. So as you turn in, you can carry a fair bit of speed. Turn in is neat and tidy, the steering gives you plenty of confidence, and there's so much grip you can carry a lot of speed into corners. Don't expect X3 levels of agility here, however. There clearly is a lot of mass being flung around at the rear, and all that weight does make its presence felt. Expected to hit showrooms somewhere around Diwali, the gargantuan X7 isn't for everyone. But if you're looking for a combination of out-and-out luxury and the ability to seat 6 passengers in comfort, this just could be your best bet yet.